Micky, and you are watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
Tony, welcome to Gov.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
All right, you go in, Tony. Good.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead Radio Show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Let's give a big shout out to Tony Walker.
Tony Walker, who's a friend of mine.
Tony Walker!
Tony Walker!
Tony Walker, everybody. Stand up, Tony. Where are you? Tony Walker! Thank you so much, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Walker. Our favorite. We love you.
Let's give
Dude,
a big...
we are so freaking proud of you. It's never too late to go back to college, turn your life around. It's been a rough few years. We know this is going to be the move that you need to change your life.
Yeah, Mikey, I'm really excited for you, pal. This is good. New beginnings, baby. Don't fuck it
Thank
up.
you very much. All right. Here it is. Email just came in.
Let's see. Let's go.
I did not get in.
You didn't get in. It's fucking Nassau Community College. What the hell's your goddamn problem?
Holy shit, are you fucking stupid
What a
or what?
stupid bum. You're going to be in your
my
mother's
God.
basement for the rest of your life. What a fucking loser.
Fucking idiot.
Piece of shit.
Idiot. Stupid as you look.
Dude.
Hi, everybody. Whoops. Hang on. There we go. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to the Knockem Dade Comedy Show. Excuse me, here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. The Knockem Dade Comedy Show coming at you live on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. I believe we're on YouTube only today. But whether we are or not, wherever you're watching us from, we ask that you share the link on all your socials. Tell everybody you know about this show and all the great shows here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, like the Knockem Dead Comedy Show, and Circling the Drain, which was on last night, and Conversations, which is on sometimes, and Coffee with the Dog, which is on this morning. Sports Bash with Peter Schwartz coming at you today at 1 o'clock. Oh, there's so many great shows here. Hershey and the Keegs that returns this coming Tuesday. They have Matt Sarah on their show. So tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We're trying to build this up and appreciate the support. They have Matt Sarah. Sports Bash today at 1 o'clock. He's got John Heyman. If you're a baseball fan, you know who that is. If you're a true baseball fan, you know who that is. And if you're a true music fan, you know my guests today. Rich Dart, John Billings. John Billings you've seen. He on the old show Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling with Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne. John Billings was on there twice when we were doing it here anyway. Rich Dart is joining us as well. John Billings and Rich Dart are currently part of the backing band for Micky Dolenz. They've done some other great things as well. We're going to be talking to them. Frank will be joining me as well. We'll be talking to John and Rich. They're joining us sometime between 11:30 and 12 today. Not sure exactly what time. You know what? Where is it? There we go. Boom. There they are. That's John Billings on the bass guitar there. That's Rich Dart behind the kit. Great musicians, great guys. There's me and Don with John, and me and Don with Rich, and me and Don with Micky Dolenz. These guys are great musicians, great guys, very funny guys. So, we're going to have a good time with them today. So they'll be joining us in between 11:30 and 12. John Rusiello says, good day, sir. Good day to you, too, as well, my friend. And Rob Sayforth says, good morning. Good morning, Rob. Rob, I need to call you. We have not talked in a few months other than texts. But, we got some catching up to do. Okay. And thank you. Thank you, Rob, for reaching out to my mother yesterday. And thank you guys who were wishing my mother happy birthday here on the show. We, Frank and I had lunch with her yesterday. She got drunk. Cops were called. It was ugly. But we had a good time. So, what do we got going on here today? Today is Thursday. So Tuesday, I was complaining to you guys about my car. I asked you the other day. I'm going to ask you guys again. Have you heard about this thing? So my car, I've had this. I have a GMC. I've had it for a year and a half. It's a 2017. I bought it used, but the Carfax came up good, clean, like nothing was wrong. And GMC, I love GMCs, so I bought it. And for the most part, not really having any major trouble with it until 3 weeks ago. The check engine light comes on. I bring it to my guy, and my guy says, hey, you have no oil. So what do you mean I have no oil? I am very I always get my oil changes like religiously. I don't know why. I've always been that way. I always make sure 3,000 miles done. So, yeah, I said that's impossible. Like, no, we're telling you, you got no oil. So that's what the problem is. I'm like, okay. Pick it up. The engine light's still on. And they say, all right, well, give it a day or two. Let the oil, make its way through the car, and make sure everything is oiled up and getting to where it's got to go. So I gave it 4 days, and the light was still on. So I bring it back, and they couldn't take the car. So I waited a week. So I had the check engine light for a week. I bring it back, and they said, it's the oil. It's just not getting where it's got to be. We had to top it off a little bit. What do you mean top it off? I just had it in. And you told me there was no oil. Like, it'll be fine. Just give it a couple of days. I gave it another week. Check engine light didn't turn off. Brought it back there so by the time I made an appointment and brought it in, which was this past Tuesday, it was a week and a half. So we're talking over 3 weeks at this point of the check engine light being on. So sure enough, they called me. If you guys were watching whoever was watching on Tuesday, I was telling you. Just as I was running the opening credits to the show and the videos and all that stuff, they called me. And they said, look, the problem is this car is just burning oil. They go, you're not leaking oil. Otherwise, you'd see it, underneath. He goes, it's not a leak. He said, the car is just burning oil. He said, that's a problem with some cars. They just, something goes wrong in the engine, and the car just burns through the oil. And they go, well, and you got a serious problem here because you're burning through a few quarts a week of oil. I'm like, what the flying fuck? So I said, well, this is the first time I've had a car with synthetic oil. So I said, is that the problem? They said, no. It's an engine issue. You might need a new engine. Like a new engine? Like, for crying out loud. Like, I might as well get a new car, instead of spending that money on a new engine. Problem is, I still owe $7,300 on this car. So I'm like, son of a bitch, what the hell am I going to do? So these guys recommended an engine specialist. So I made an appointment, and the guy's like, yeah, there's something goes on in the engine. It just happens with cars, sometimes, and we have to fix a part. He goes, however, we're not really sure what the problem is and why this happens. And it's been happening more and more these days with cars, they said. They said, we can fix the problem, but there's no guarantee it'll be a permanent fix. We don't know how long it'll last. And just to fix the part in the engine is $1,000. So I'm like, why am I going to spend $1,000 when I don't even know if this is going to fix the problem? But what choice do I have? Because I still owe $7,300. Damn it. So, trying to think what to do. Oh, good morning, Ann. And just so you know, last I heard, Romeo will not be joining us tomorrow. I hope you'll be all right. So a thought came to me, trying to figure out what to do about this car, this damn car. So, a thought came to me, and I took a little ride. Can you see who that is? Can you see who that is sitting there at her desk at a car dealership where I told her my issues, and she said, I might be able to help you, Tony. I just might be able to help you. So she got in my car, checked it out, took it for a ride. That's right. The angelic, the wonderful, the beautiful Diane Fogarty McCardle. Diane McCardle Fogarty, however she prefers it. Tuesday co-host here on the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. I was trying to think what to do, and all of a sudden it hit me. Diane works at a Subaru dealership. Diane is in charge of estimating people that want to come in and trade in their cars. Who perfect to talk to? So we sat down. Of course, as soon as I got there, she made nothing but time for me. In her busy schedule, she runs that damn dealership. Nothing goes on without her knowing about it, without her approval. And she tossed everything aside. She pushed people out of the way just to help me. And do I not say it every Tuesday? Just when you think she can't get any better, she does. So, yeah. So now she's even more betterer. So Diane is helping me out. She said she needed to talk to some guy at the dealership, but who wasn't there yesterday. He's there today. But, yeah, she said, I think I can help you out here. Just, give me a day, and we'll figure something out. So there you go. So maybe there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe they'll take my stupid car. Maybe I can, maybe I'll get. I don't even care about making a profit. I don't even, I just want to. I'm happy with breaking even. I'll even take a little bit of a loss, a few $100, just so I can get rid of the loan and start anew with a new car that'll hopefully be better. But then, I'm talking to Lisa about it, and even she's like, so if this is a problem that a lot of cars have now, how do you know it's not going to happen again? I'm like, yeah, I agree. So she's like, find the cheapest car they have and just, that way if this happens, then you could just, pay, $3,000 for a new engine. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's what I'll have to do. It pisses me off. These guys can't pinpoint the problem. And when they do, they're like, well, yeah, there's no guarantee it won't happen again because, it's just the way the engine is. So I'm going to sound like Joe Pesci right now from Lethal Weapon because to me, this is just a scam. They fuck you at the drive-in. They fuck you at the post office, whatever Joe Pesci was saying in Lethal Weapon. But that's how I'm feeling. Like they don't make enough money off of us on cars. And now we have this problem that can't be solved after paying $1,000 to supposedly fix it. Yeah, I'm a little bent. I bought this GMC, and, it has 115,000 miles on it. A GMC I should be able to hit at least 180 with this thing. And I had a Ford a few years ago, and I'll never buy a Ford again. I had a Ford Transit. And it was the only brand new car I ever bought. I bought this thing brand new back in 2010. I wanted to hold on to this thing for a long time. And after 8 years and a little over 100,000 miles, the thing just fell apart. And sure enough, I bought it when it was new, and the Ford Transits were new to this country at the time. So, it was a new thing. But in 2010, when it 2010? No, I bought it in 2010. So 2018, when it started crapping out on me, I Googled it, and sure enough, I found a lot of articles that said, in between 100,000 miles and 125,000 miles, the thing will start to fall apart on you. Like, son of a bitch. So I had to junk that one. So I got screwed there, but at least I had that car paid off. So that was nice. But still, paid it off. Would have liked to have enjoyed it for a while. I got 8 years, but should have had at least another 8 out of it. At least. Yeah, I was pissed. Bought a GMC Envoy, which I absolutely loved. But I bought it used. I think it had over 100,000 miles on it when I bought it. Had that paid off. And then, I hit around 185,000 miles, just started to fall apart. So I had to get rid of that, and that's when I got this one. And, I got this one with 90, I think it was 95,000 miles on it. Give or take, maybe 100, maybe a little shy of 100,000. Late 90s somewhere. I thought for sure this thing would last me, anywhere from 5 to 8 years. I'll tell you what lasted me. I had a Chevy van, which everybody said it was creepy. I thought it was wonderful. I loved the damn thing. I bought that thing that was I think it was a 93 Chevy van. Custom. Had a bed in the back, had lights and carpeting. I know it sounds creepy, but it wasn't. It was fun. You can go away on a weekend and, sleep in the bed. And it had a lot of seats. You could. We used to load all my buddies in there. We used to go to a Met game. Or, we're going to a club, you get a bunch of people hanging out in the van, you go to the club, and, everybody's drinking, but they're safe because I'm driving. But, it's the whole shared experience, man. I love that thing. I had a TV, and, in the 90s, I bought it in 96 and 97, had 25,000 miles on it. That thing lasted me, I think it was 213,000 miles I hit with that thing. I had it for, I think, 14 or 15 years. I almost cried when I got rid of it. I love that damn van. But it was awesome. It was the whole shared experience. And instead of meeting people there and coming and going at different times, you pick everybody up. Everybody jumps in the van. You turn the music on or you turn the TV on, and everybody's, having a good time. Again, with a ball game, we brought the hibachi. And, we would barbecue in the parking lot before the game. We'd get there nice and early and hang out. Oh, it was great. I took, some trips with, various women that were in my life at a given time. We had the bed in the back, so we just, we could drive any way we want, sleep in the bed, continue driving, if we weren't at our destination. It was so cool. That thing lasted me almost 200,000 miles. But you don't really see custom vans anymore. I'd love to get that again. All right, let's see what's going on here. We are waiting in between 11:30 and 12. Rich Dart and John Billings, currently of Micky Dolenz's backing band. They will be joining us sometime between 11:30 and 12. Frank will be joining us as well. Anne will survive, okay. But she'll be lonely without John tomorrow, who last I heard will not be able to watch. John says, Ford, fix or repair daily. That's what Ford stands for. Absolutely right, pal. Anne says, cars and driving used to be a pleasure. Nowadays, it's a nightmare. You can't even work on your own car, all computerized. Yeah, absolutely right. The whole engine, everything is so... Engines need to breathe a little bit, but, it's like there's no nooks and crannies anymore. Everything is so packed together and computerized. Yeah, and you used to be able to at least do minor things on your car. It's annoying. And driving used to be a pleasure, and you used to be able to enjoy the ride. But, yeah, now it is. It's a pain. Everything's a money grab. And there's no loyalty. You buy a new car from me and, bring it back and I'll fix problems. No, everything is, bring it back and I'll fix it for money. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So don't hurt the messenger here, but somebody told me the reason why you got rid of that Chevy van is because when you had it inspected, the Board of Health condemned it.
I brought them to the back with the bed and the TV, and they were fine 30 seconds later.
Well, listen, that's what I heard, all right? But I wasn't there. I didn't know you then. I have no personal knowledge. But somebody told me that van was condemned by the Board of Health.
I kept that thing as clean as can be, and it was wonderful.
Okay, well, listen, I can't comment on it because I wasn't there. But this is a personal friend of yours that told me this. So I'm just saying. I'm not going to give it up. You have a lot of personal friends. Listen, you're Tony Walker. You know more bums than the Salvation Army. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look who's talking over here. This is a guy that knows everybody that's ever walked into New York State. Well, listen, let me tell you something. Everybody loves a jovial guy like me, But...
Good word. Jovial. It's John Rusciello and Santa Claus.
I make Santa Claus look like the devil. Are you kidding me? With my personality, come on. I mean,
and are you not surprised that Diane is going to save my ass?
Well, if you remember correctly, we had a conversation. I said, "Why don't you call Diane? You already had it in your mind."
Yes.
And yes, I mean listen. knowing Diane the way we both know her, if anything in the world, she'd go out and do it for you. 100%. She's great. She's fantastic.
Yep, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. No surprise.
We're lucky. We're lucky well, you're lucky to have her in your corner.
Well, yes, but she definitely loves you more than she loves me.
I doubt that very highly. I doubt that very highly, sir. I'm sorry.
The way she just glows when your name is mentioned.
Well, everybody does.
Well, that's true.
Look at you.
Look at Ann. She's never even met you.
Well, this is true. I'm sure she's listening. We have to do something about this. All right. Someday we have to figure out how we were going to have a Knockem Dead comedy reunion, just like high schools have reunions.
Yes.
And stuff. Yes, we have to get like you say, your extended family. We all have to get together.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Our Monday co-host Jeff, he's not able to fly right now due to his health issues. Once he's back on his feet, which should be later this year, back on his feet, back to work and whatnot, then I like to try and put something together once he's available and able to join us.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I have the perfect place down by me. It would be a great hub, for weather, and I have the pool, I have all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we have the clubhouse. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to try and talk Carol and Ann. Carol is, she's near you right now, but
yes.
But yeah, we'll have to see if we can get them.
We'll get Ann. We'll figure out how to get Ann down here one way or the other.
All right. Well, yeah, and Diane, I think, is a given because her sister's only, an hour away from you, I think? Or 2 hours?
She's an hour away, and she has a condo, so and you have a place to stay, as you very well know.
Thank you, sir.
We'll thank God for cleaning women, because after you leave,
you yelled at me. You couldn't even tell I slept on that bed. It's true. It's true. You're like you didn't even. You're like you didn't even move the comforter. I was like I was warm. I didn't need the blankets or anything.
Well, it was kind of questionable that you didn't shack up with Mike, but that's a story from a different day.
No pictures, or it didn't happen.
If you did, I'm sorry for you. That's the only I can say.
You're absolutely right about that.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, buddy. All right, John Russello checking in. Let's see. Let's do the comments and see what's cooking here. Ford fix or repair daily. Read that one from Ann. Good morning, Micky. Rob Sayforth. The van only worked when you put gas in it. Yeah. But in my defense, the gas meter wasn't it wasn't working right. Rob and I took a drive up to Cooperstown. Whatever year this was, 99, 2000. I think it was 2000. We took a ride up to Cooperstown, and we're driving through, who the hell knows, upstate, dark roads. And I knew I was low on gas, but I thought I was going to make it. Or at least I thought, I could keep going until we hit a rest stop and get some gas. But we're driving. The car just stopped. I'm like, all right, well, I guess my, the meter isn't right. The gas showed that I still had a little left, but yeah, we ran out of gas, and we're in the middle of nowhere. So we're like, what do we do now? I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll have to walk and find a gas station. So Rob stayed with the van, and I start walking. Thankfully, I don't even think I went a quarter of a mile when a cop showed up. I think, Rob, if I remember right, the cop stopped at the van first, and you talked to him? If I remember right. And then the cop drove back and found me. And, I got in the car with him. He was like, and good thing, because he said the way I was going, there wasn't another gas station for a while. If I went the other way, apparently there was one not too far. So, But what we did, he called it. So this was 2000. Did we have cell phones? Or were we still working off beepers? I forget now. Either way, the cop found us either he had a gas can, or I think he drove actually to the nearest gas station and had a guy come out and put some gas in, and then we were able to drive to the gas station and get some gas. I think that's the way it went. But yeah, so we got very lucky, but it could have been a very sucky situation. But I was doing the walking. I think Rob probably was worried that he was, sitting in this dark van and he was, going to get what's the Burt Reynolds movie? All right, Ann says, in a year, I will most likely be able to go. You got to wait a year before you can join us at John's house in Florida? All right, we'll figure that out. Oh, yeah, so the cop did stop by the van first and talk to Rob. Okay. Yeah, but I don't even know why I took Rob with me. Like Rob used to break windows at my mother's house. He knows what that means. Hey, we're waiting I miss Rob. He moved to Pennsylvania, one of my closest pals. Rich Dart and John Billings will be joining us anytime between now and 12 noon. Frank will be joining us as well. Rich and John are currently in the backing band for Micky Dolenz, but they're great musicians. They've done some other stuff. They're good guys. Look at the concentration on John here playing his bass while Micky's belting out a tune. And then this picture's a little blurry, but it's Rich and Micky just banging away on the drums. Rich and Micky banging away. See, it all comes for a full circle. I'm talking about my van banging away, and then we're talking about banging drums. Okay. I was going to get Deliverance. I couldn't remember the name of the movie. Deliverance, yes. That was a concern of mine. And then I'm worried about that myself as I'm walking to find a gas station. I was thinking either I'm going to get Deliverance or I'm just going to get eaten up by a bear. Ann says that would be a dream come true. To come join us in Florida. She has been in most states except Florida. Oh, really? I've done, I think, 15 states. And Florida, I think 3 or 4 times. I need to go back to Hawaii. I went to Hawaii when I got married the first time. Our honeymoon was Hawaii, but I got sick while I was there. I was laid up in bed for a little over half the trip. So that kind of sucked. Plus, I'm not with that wife anymore. I like to go with my wife. It seemed really great. But, so I wanted to mention, as we await the arrival of our guests, where is it? Here it is. So, if you watch our videos, our opening every day, the videos that we play as the show opens, there's a little part with comedian Tom Kelly. And Tom Kelly's been on this show several times. He has his own podcast called The Tom Kelly Show. And he does a lot of Instagram shorts and stuff. He does a lot of Instagram videos where he'll go to different towns on Long Island and talk about them. But he'll actually visit the towns and talk to people, like do man on the street type interviews and show different things in the town, what the town might be known for. And they've picked up some steam. They've gotten some notice. And his videos have, I think, I think some of them have gone viral. Tom, a great comedian. Just like Joey Cola, he does warm-up. He was the warm-up guy for The View. He does, I think, Good Morning America. He was Good Morning America. I still believe he does still do Good Morning America sometimes, I think. Great guy. He has, I think, 1 or 2 different Tom Kelly podcast clips where he makes fun of me. Tom's family are neighbors with Sally. So, really close. We look out our window, we can see their house. That's how close they live. And so Tom, picks on me for, breaking up with Sally and, stuff like that. He's a great guy, very funny comedian. So he did one of his Instagram clips the other day, a few weeks ago, where he found a girl's diploma in the garbage. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it was sticking up. Like, I don't think he was digging through the garbage. I'll have to ask him what the story is. But he found a diploma, found the girl's name, and then put it, showed it on one of his Instagram videos and said, I'm sure, I think it was a college diploma. I'm not sure. Either way, he said, I'm sure whoever this girl is would like her diploma. So let's find her, ladies and gentlemen. And the video went viral, and sure enough, the girl was found. So congrats to Tom. Tom is, the video's gone viral. He's getting some attention. Newsday, which is, one of the major news outlets here in the New York area, ran a story about it. So congrats to Tom for that. We thought that was really cool. All right, I see Rich. Hi, Rich.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. John's going to be late because he can't figure out that there is a difference between Eastern time and Central time.
You silly musicians.
Yeah, I just texted him. I'm like, so are you hopping on? And he goes, no, it's not till 11. I'm like, yeah, Eastern time.
So he would have. So where are you guys?
I'm in Connecticut. He's in Nashville.
Oh, for some reason I thought you guys were on the road with Micky, no?
We just got off. We did a series of shows last week. We have this week off, and then next week we go back out for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So that's why I wasn't sure where you guys were. So you're home.
I'm home.
Very nice. All right, hang on. Let me. I'm just setting up the Zoom here so everybody can see you. Okay.
Nobody wants that.
I'm sure some people want that. Okay, so there we are. There is Rich Dart, right there. Good to see you, pal.
Good to see you too. How you been, Tony?
Doing all right, thanks. Doing all right. So John's in Nashville. So that's what. So he's what, an hour behind?
He's an hour behind. He said he's going to try to make it as soon as possible.
We have a. Do you guys up in Connecticut? You probably get WFAN up there, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Somebody's not a sports guy, I guess, huh?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. WFAN, the sports radio.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't know if you get it up there or not?
It's we probably do.
Yeah, it's New York City based, so I'm assuming you.
Oh, then
you
of course we do. Yeah, because I'm in Guilford, so I'm literally across the sound from you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're super close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a guy from that station that does a podcast here every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:00, and he's got some guests, and I'm using the same Zoom link. So that would have been hilarious, at least to me.
Oh my gosh!
These guys are talking sports, and all of a sudden Billings pops up. I would have laughed my ass off.
Damn! Now I wish I didn't tell him.
That's great. And how early is this for you rock stars?
This isn't early for me at all.
Really? Yeah.
I'm an early riser.
Really? So, even when you're gigging the night before and hanging out and doing all the sex and drugs?
Yeah, sex and drugs. I used to be like the late riser, and then I had a kid, and then I was a stay-at-home dad. And he's 15 now, but I still get up early and get him to school and all that. So
kids ruin everything, don't they?
Do.
Child labor. It's the only reason we have them. So I'm currently. I don't know if you. I know you see me, but I don't know if you. Right now we're live on YouTube, and I'm showing a picture of you and John, in action at a concert, and you're probably familiar with the picture. You got your hands up like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and now
posing.
What's that?
That's called posing. Being a poser.
Well, that's it. Wow, it's recreated right there. But now I love this picture because John's making a cool, rock and roll, we're jamming, we're badass, kind of face, and you got the pose going. But are you? I don't know if you're a fan of this little band that just fired their drummer, but you this pose is very. It just reminds me of another energetic drummer, and you're a pretty energetic drummer.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of energy coming from you. And there's this guy by the name of Keith Moon, who I believe there's pictures of him in very similar poses.
Probably.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if you've heard. This band, I believe they're called the Who. They're currently looking for a drummer.
I heard that. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe get Micky on the phone and say, hey, Mick, hook. I don't know. He must know them. He must know the Who.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, it might be 60 years since he's seen them, but I'm sure they cross paths somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they've crossed their paths. Yeah.
I could totally see Rich Dart playing for the Who. I could. You don't think you don't see it?
I wouldn't mind doing it. See, the problem is, and I've had this conversation with my wife.
Yeah.
And she agrees. We want to aim down on the age spectrum for job security.
Well, I was reading. I mean, I'm sure their drummer Zach Starkey, who they just fired, son of Ringo.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure Ringo has something to do with this, but Zach Starkey's net worth for 2025, $20 million.
Wow, well that's a lot more than I'm worth.
Well, I beg to differ, and I'm thinking, maybe these guys are old. I mean, they're both in their 80s. Daltrey has actually said that his hearing and his sight is going. But I'm thinking if you get, a year or two out of them, you might be all right for a while.
Hey, if they call, I'm here.
Exactly.
Problem is, they'll say, Rich who?
So what? But then you show them a couple of clips, man, and you're set. I mean, it's like Mick Jagger. He's 81. He just got engaged to a 37-year-old. I think you think she's thinking about the wallet a little bit? I think she is.
A little. Yeah.
Just a little. Yeah. I mean, shit, if I'm going to inherit Mick Jagger's fortune, I'll change his diaper for a couple of years too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I would do that gig in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Are you a Who fan?
I am a Who fan.
Nice.
Well, it's a funny story. So I loved the Who since I first heard them. First heard them. I mean, obviously I heard them on the radio, but didn't know anything about them. And then I saw The Kids Are All Right.
That's exactly how I got into the Who.
And I just fell in love with them.
What a great movie.
Problem. I could never watch videos of Keith Moon. And so I'm a classically trained musician. And my teacher was very Polish. And my teacher was very strict about you keep everything, nice and tight when you play, and you don't. And then you've got Keith, who's got no elbows, and he's just and
all over the place.
I loved listening to it, but I would get really nervous watching it. And I've gotten over that in since then. But yeah. But what's funny is, and I tell all my students this, you can trace all these people back to their influences. And Keith's big influence was Gene Krupa.
Right.
Go back and you watch old videos of Gene Krupa, the face and all of that is there. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Just a little sloppier than Gene.
He was a little sloppier than Gene.
A little bit.
He was perfect in the Who.
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, Live at Leeds got to be definitely everybody's top, within their top 5 live albums.
Yes, definitely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And even Zach Starkey, son of Ringo, but his main influence was Keith Moon. Keith Moon was his godfather.
Yeah.
And I think
he came closest. I saw them with Simon Phillips.
Yeah.
And I've heard them with Kenny Jones, but Zach came the closest to Keith Moon.
Yeah, I agree, but I'll be honest. I think he's the best drummer the Who had. Was Zach Starkey.
I would agree.
Yeah.
He was technically he was the best drummer.
Exactly. Yeah. He had a little bit of Moon's craziness, but not the sloppiness. He was
right.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. This is just my own opinion. I have no idea why they canned him. I watched the clips and I'm like, if anything, he was holding back, I thought.
Yeah, I agree, and I've seen them. Like you said, I saw them with Simon also, and seen them so many times with Zach, and just in my opinion, the perfect fit. It just, I don't know. They're saying you watch the clips and Roger's complaining, but I don't know. And then even Zach actually put a statement out saying he appreciates the time, and he's denying that his health had anything to do with it.
Right.
But I don't know. My guess, personal clashes, I guess. But
yeah, there's always stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
And yeah, I mean, that's what I was about to ask. I'm assuming you've probably been through that yourself.
Party.
Look who's here.
Okay, so maybe I'm got the CST and EST thing. Ipso facto flipped. Sorry, guys. My apologies. I know that's extraordinarily disrespectful, but when it comes to Tony, disrespect
There's
creeps.
nothing to be sorry about. I'm just
Very sorry. Sorry, dude.
I think you, by the time it's over, you'll be sorry you were here. But
No. I had to get I have nothing on from the waist down.
Wow.
This is it, dude. It's all you
It's a
get.
podcast, man.
I know. Well, they're gonna see, Rich. Oh, they're gonna see.
Wow, I didn't know it was that kind of a show here. Wow.
Whoa. You know what's cool? This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I'm on a new computer and my Zoom follows me. Does it do it to you guys? Watch this.
Look at
Oh,
that.
that's creepy, dude.
It's
That's a
creepy
little
as
creepy.
hell. Look at that.
That
Mine does not.
weird. No,
Mine does not do that.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That's cool.
Sorry.
Wow, I didn't know that was even a thing.
I didn't either. Because I had to
That's
get
kinda
on
cool.
early and put, because it's pretty new. I didn't even have Zoom on my computer. I had to put it all on. And then my face pops up and I said, oh, let me get up and get something. And it followed me as I went across the room. I was like, whoa.
What? And wait a minute. What? You didn't have Zoom on your computer?
No, I had to install it.
You installed it just for this?
Yeah.
He'll
Look
take
at
it right off after.
Yeah.
It's going to take it off in about 5 minutes.
I use it because sometimes I get students who I teach remotely. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you need it. All right, so that's perfect. So and it's a write-off, so that's good.
Yeah,
a
I
free,
didn't have to
the
buy
free
it. I just had to
programs are.
download it.
Well, actually, it's not. It's free, but when it's free, they cut you off after 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to pay if you want it for more.
Oh, really?
So I'm paying $15 a month so I can have John Billings and Rich Dart on the show.
Don't go over 40 minutes or you'll miss me. I'll disappear.
Now it's doing some weird shit. Look at that.
Yeah,
It's
look at
great.
that. That's crazy.
Bobbing up and down.
Yeah, I got to stop moving. I'm a frenetic person, so people are gonna get sick watching this.
That's like the cars now. If the car feels you're going too far out of the lane, like they bring it drives me nuts because I don't feel like I am, and all of a sudden I'm like fighting with it. It drives me nuts. I hate it.
Yeah, I hate the ones that break.
Yes.
I don't mind braking, but like I was trying to park a car one time. It was a rental car, and it slammed on the brake, and I thought I hit the car in front of me. I was like, "Whoa!"
Unbelievable. John, we were just discussing with Rich. Back me up here. There's this band out there. They have a little bit of a following. They just fired their drummer. They're called The Who. And they just fired their drummer. Don't you think Rich would be a perfect drummer for The Who?
No, because I will not do the gig. I won't do Mickey's gig without Rich. So no, he is not the perfect drummer. No, my vote is no.
Why? What if he said? What if he told Townsend, "Okay, I'll do it, but I'm bringing my bass player."
But I know the bass player, John Button, and I would feel horrible.
Oh, okay.
If that was how it happened. So no, Rich, no.
Wow. You know John Button. So what do all you bass players, like you all have a union together? Like what's going
There's
on?
only 12 of us, dude. There's only like a dozen, Baker's dozen in the whole world. So we all know each other. We have a convention and everything.
Good ones. Let's say that.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Hey, so do we know what's the dirt? Do we know anything? I don't know anything. I know there was something happened, and it was the usual copy paste PR BS.
Right.
That went up. The Who. We've all decided that it's in the best interest. Blah, blah, blah. We all know it's bullshit. So is there anything out there that's like, oh, this happened or that happened?
Well, we were talking about that a second ago. The so when the Who put out their statement, they kind of alluded to blood clot issues that Zach Starkey was having a few months ago. But I think it was yesterday or this morning, Zach Starkey put out his own statement and said, "No, I am totally healthy." Let me see. I'm very proud of my near 30 years with the Who. Filling the shoes of my godfather, Uncle Keith Moon, has been the biggest honor, and I remain their biggest fan. They're like family to me. As for the clot, this is now completely healed and does not affect my drumming or my running. He expressed shock that anyone would find fault in his playing, because there was a show just a few weeks ago where Daltrey was complaining that Zach Starkey overdid it with his drumming. Let's see. After playing those gigs and after playing with the band for so many decades, I'm surprised and saddened that anyone would have issue with my performance from that night, but what can you do? I plan to take some much-needed time off with my family and focus on the release of Domino Bones by Mantra of the Cosmos. It's a new band he has with Noel Gallagher. Okay.
That's a band name right there, buddy.
and he's also writing his autobiography.
Wow.
Okay, so he probably
he went from one disgruntled worker to Noel.
Yeah. Let's see how long this lasts.
Right. I think he has done some time with Oasis, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he? Okay.
So maybe
I'm pretty ignorant of his career.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, great drummer, fantastic.
But
I'd
love to have met the guy, and all that kind of, he seems cool and all, and I'm sure. I mean, Rich knows stuff happens on the road, and tempers flare, and you have a bad night, and it just sometimes can envelope into something else. The next thing you know, you're like putting out press releases.
Yeah, but I talk to the boss and say, "Don't fire John."
Again. But I find it interesting, though, after almost 30 years, you would think, they'd all be used to each other. And, you would think they would have, their own separate posses, their own separate people, and they wouldn't even have to deal with each other except on stage. Like, you'd think by now they'd just accept, if their exposure to each other is limited, you would think they'd just accept what's going on in the show. No?
Rich, you take this one.
Okay.
I guess that's a big fat no. Okay.
A long-term band, whether you're a backup band for someone else or you're an original member of the band, it's a family.
Right.
And, just like you get together with your family, after everybody leaves, you turn to your wife and you go, "God damn it, and my uncle just said this. He says the dumbest thing." It's the same in band situations. And there's always going to be somebody that's rubbing somebody the wrong way. It's very rare that everything's utopia. That doesn't mean, everybody's fighting all the time.
Right.
But there's always going to be something that irritates somebody else and, vice versa. And, if you irritate the guys in charge, then that's where the trouble begins.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm wondering, as and correct me if I'm wrong, but as backing band members, like, I'm assuming you guys have to, and I don't mean this, as a negative thing towards Micky Dolenz or anybody, whoever somebody is backing, but I'm sure you guys have to hold your tongue most of the time because you're not the spotlight guy.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But that doesn't kind of help, with, because you're not going to yell at Dolenz if he pisses you off. At least I'm assuming. Again, you know what? I won't even single out Dolenz and single you guys out. Any session guy is not going to go bitching at the name because you're going to lose. At the risk of losing your gig. So, but that doesn't. How I guess that only goes so far. I guess some people after a while they just can't hold back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, Daltrey is how old is Daltrey?
80, 81.
81. He could be just a cantankerous cat and just had a really shitty day and just pointed his ire at Zach, and maybe his in-ear monitors or wedges wasn't a great mix, and all he heard was drums. And then instead of being like, no big deal, I'll talk to the sound guy, he just said, "No, you're fired."
Yeah, right.
You never know. We won't know unless we know people in the camp.
Yeah, true.
And only then they'll tell us the truth after they're gone.
Right.
Usually how that works.
And I guess in the case of you guys, because Micky, whether it's when it was the Monkees, but now obviously just him, he's had for the most part, like you guys have been with him for several years, and for the most part he's had a lot of the same guys. So I guess that's kudos to him then, right? That obviously he must be a good guy to work with because he holds on to these guys.
Absolutely. You got to work really hard to piss off Micky. I mean,
No
you got to
kidding.
go out of your way to upset him. Yeah, he's been amazing. Because and I evidence that by looking at you talking to me and Rich now after all these years, and we are total clowns and not all that great. So, that to prove my point.
Yes. Now, he is truly the greatest guy in the world. He is the kindest, and he's not judgmental about us at all.
Really?
Or playing, he doesn't judge. I mean, he loves the fact that we are a family. He loves the camaraderie. To him, it's more about getting everyone together and hanging out than it is about, putting on a show.
Wow.
And he's sorry, John. He recently, revamped the stage setup so that everybody except me is in a straight line in the front of the stage, so that everybody gets their just due.
Oh, wow.
His idea, totally.
That's amazing. Really, you think after all these years, he really technically doesn't have to do anything like that, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, we could literally be behind a curtain in the back and he could be out front.
Yeah.
Which I've actually done before on an artist gig. And Rich's, you played the pit.
Yep. I've done that right underneath the stage.
Yeah. So so all things are possible. You saw Lizzo the other night on SNL, and I think she had a live band, but I couldn't see
a
live band.
No.
So the fact that Micky did that is really cool.
And and then the whole band, because he's Micky Dolenz, so he's the one doing. He's not just doing the concert. He's doing the Today Show. He's doing press. He's doing interviews. As you guys are on the road, so what's that time like for you guys? I guess that whole family dynamic is even more important because I'm assuming the band is in going out to eat together, or walking around checking out whatever town you're in together. I'm assuming.
Yep.
That's exactly right. Or avoiding each other, which is an activity in of itself,
But I find it hard to believe if I'm hanging out with John Billings, because I'll tell you when I was there, what was that, December, at Westbury Music Fair. First off, I think I sat on this show for 2 days just talking about that, because it was so amazing. All I did was reach out. Because we were working on plans to get together with those pricks, Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne, and and they, I don't know, the plans changed, and then and I felt bad because I wanted to come to the show, and I forget what was going on, but so I just texted you. I said I just want to make sure that you knew the plans had changed. Sorry, I'm not going to see you. Have a great show. All of a sudden, I'm getting text back. Hey man, if you want to get in the show, just let me know how many people you bring. I'm like, what the. And, of course, I'm not turning that down. So, and I'm a huge Monkees Dolenz guy. And so, of course, we came to the show. You hooked us up. We had great seats. You brought us backstage after. I'm showing the picture of us with you. It's right above me. We had such a great time. And then, I don't know if this is an age thing or what, but, we're backstage hanging out, and there's no alcohol or anything. John Billings brought us, like water and chocolate chip cookies.
That's because we drank all the alcohol before the show.
Good story.
And that's all we had left.
Well, I was fine with that because those chocolate chip cookies were amazing. Who made? Was it you that who made them? They were homemade.
Alex's mom.
Oh, Alex's mom.
Jules, the keyboard player. They actually live literally around the corner.
Yes.
And so they grew up around the corner. So that's their hood. She brought a big tin of, I think it was gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, I believe.
Yeah.
It was she always does it when she comes out and we're near her area. She brings us stuff.
Unbelievable. Enjoying
You get to partake.
a great show and chocolate chip cookies. I mean, does it get any better than that? I mean,
that's it, dude.
There might be one or two things that are better than that, but
everybody else is like it's orgies, booze, drug, and really it's chocolate chip cookies.
That gets so old after a while. I mean, that's Tuesday,
Yeah. How many can you do? How many orgies can you do in a week?
how many times can you see hot naked women making out with each other? Damn it.
It becomes, same show, different day. No. But cookies.
That's fantastic.
That was a good night. And that's a great venue, and a lot of good memories there. One of my good buddies, I told Rich that story that night, that one of my good buddies tripped and fell on that stage and just face planted because it's, you know, it rotates. And then the boss thought it was a great idea. And this is when the band was in the pit, like next to the stage. And then at one point, he and I would have these wireless systems on our guitars, and we'd get up on that turntable, and we would just do a circle. We'd run. She wanted us to sprint a circle around her, and he just went flatten on that stage. So every time I'm there, I'm always like, that memory burned in. Is that the one where they had to push start the stage, Rich? Is that the one?
I was just going to ask you where that was.
I think that was it.
No, it was another place.
Oh.
So we played a theater in the Round, and they had actually opened it up in the Round, and the stage revolved, but it didn't work. So it was kind of like the Beatles' first performance.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
But instead of moving the instruments, they had all these stagehands moving the stage.
Andrew Sandoval, our producer, was out there in a suit, helping to push the stage to get it going.
I have pictures and video of that. It's funny.
And then the Musicians Union filed a grievance.
Probably so. Many grievances.
In 1989, I saw the Monkees at Westbury Music Fair.
Wow,
nice.
You might hang up on me after this. Davy Jones was, this was the 80s, 89. So back then, I'm sure you've probably seen the videos or saw it live. When they sang Valerie, Davy Jones put on the 80s mullet and like David Lee Roth, the spandex and all that.
Yep.
And he's running backwards as he's singing the song, and he went tumbling off that stage.
Ooh.
The whole place, you just hear a big collective, except for one voice, you just hear nothing but laughter. And sorry, Davey.
I thought you were going to say Micky.
No. It was me. I laughed. I mean, the show was over, and I was still laughing. He got up. He was fine. And then he does that. I think he probably did up until his death, right? When he did that outfit, he would, when the song's over, he'd go, "Where's the party, dude?" And Micky jumped on the mic. He said, "Where's the ambulance, dude?" Yeah. I laughed.
Broken that night.
Yeah, a friend of mine was backstage that night, and he said that Davey was complaining his back was bothering him. But, dude, I'm sorry, Davy Jones, but I laughed hysterically. Just tumbling right off. And,
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm a prick.
If it had happened in the age of cell phones, we'd be watching it on YouTube.
Yeah. We'd be playing it right now.
They're actually, you know what? I didn't even think of it. I don't know if it's still up on YouTube, but somebody had the audio of that up on YouTube for a while. It was It was just a blue screen, but you hear Davey singing, and you just hear all the
the mic tumbling around.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, chasing it under the stage.
All right, so Mr. Billings, let me ask you, how did? So Micky put out a live album a few months ago, live from the Troubadour, where you are the producer.
That means that I just made the coffee and hired a mean to mix it, and I was done. That was my gig, dude.
Nice.
It was easy. Yes, sir. I was the producer on that record.
How did you make that happen?
Micky called one day. He said, "Hey, we're going to be at the Troubadour." And I was like, "Yes, the Troubadour, all right."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "I'd like to video it." And I was like, "Oh, that's a hard one because they have so many requirements." It was a lot. It was a little bit of a logistical pain in the butt because it's a club, but it's a small club. It was sold out. They were not going to let us have more than 2 cameramen, so we had to do some plants around the room. But we went ahead and we did it. We multi-tracked that night, and then literally what happened was, I think we were done with the evening. Micky had a party for Coco. It was Coco's birthday. And he's like, "How did it go, John?" And I said, "It went great. I'm going to go right now. I'm going to miss the party because I got to go, pack up my gear."
Great Micky imitation, by the way.
Rich has he's really nailed it. We'll get to that later. But we'll get to that later. So yeah, I said, I can't go to the party. I've got to get my camera gear, my bass gear, pay my guys for video work, and then I'm going to get the multi-tracks. He was like, "Multi-tracks?" And I went, "Yeah." We multi-tracked the show so that we could get it mixed properly for video. And the video was really originally just going to be for agents. This is going to be some stuff for agents to promote our songs and stories.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "We could do a record." And I was like, "Yeah, we could do a record." it's a record, you know. So that's literally how it came out. And God bless Amin Zarukian. He got in there, made it sound wonderful, and that's it. It was born.
So you have the, and I know, you know, I'm sure a lot of, I think a lot of people who aren't civilians, so to speak, people that aren't in entertainment, they see a musician or a comedian. Now, I'm in Governor's Comedy Club right now. I think they see guys on stage, they just assume, oh, they're on stage, they're rich and they're working musicians or comedians, actors, whatever. And, that's the furthest thing from the truth. So with that, you have a production company, or you have a crew that was able to come and do this?
I had guys in Los Angeles that I worked with. I worked in film and television doing sound, location audio, and I shoot a little bit as well. My wife and I have a production company. We'll do some shooting at times.
Nice.
But I had guys that I've worked with here in Tennessee that live in Los Angeles. So I called them up. I could only bring in 2 cats. That's, the club was very specific about not having bodies moving on the floor.
Yeah.
I literally the day of our sound check, I was negotiating. They were wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, but it was a lot of negotiating on where people could go, where they couldn't go, what gear we could have. The size of the camera package was important. We had to trim our cameras down. So, but I had these guys. I had really talented cats, which that was wonderful, because then I could just let go and play bass and not worry about anything. They ran the whole show. And that was it. And at the end of the show, I got my hard drives and went home and looked at it, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, the magic is in the editing, right? If you have 2 cameras and then maybe a few plants, but then
we only had 2 moving cameras.
Yeah.
And then we have plants in the room. Gary Strobel brought some GoPros. I had 2 still Sony full frame cameras that I had. Just one was in the back of the room. My wife was there, and it was near her so she could get to it in case something happened. And then I had another one that was just strapped literally in front of Wayne Avers on the rigging, which unfortunately every time Rich hits his kick drum, the camera goes. So that camera, as it should be, that camera might just be for talking moments, because it's pretty hilarious when everything's going. It looks like there's an earthquake that's constantly going on. But that's one of those things where we were like, well, this is the only place we can put a camera. We couldn't test to see if the rigging was going to vibrate. We just had to go. So you go with what you got, and you make do with what you can. So some of like the GoPro footage, obviously, is not going to be as color corrected as I'd like it to be. But you know what? We'll take what we can get.
Right, and again, that's why I say the magic is in the editing, because then you can fix a lot of that stuff. You can enhance it. I have one of my closest friends in England. His name is Elio Pace. He does a Billy Joel show in England, and he does some of his own stuff as well. But his he's selling out theaters in different, mainly England, but other parts of Europe as well. He's selling out 6 to 10,000 seat theaters doing a Billy Joel show. But he also did an Elvis show where it was just him on piano and a drummer, and they were doing like a bunch of I guess the whole career of Elvis. It was a cool concept, just him on the piano. But same thing, he did. I think it was a 6,000 seat theater, 3 cameras, but you would never know it. The editing, it came out fantastic in the in the DVD. It worked.
You never know.
Yeah,
we had one guy that unfortunately, like we're always like we're left room heavy, because our guys were on the left side of the room because they couldn't get to the right side because it was packed. It was like shoulder to shoulder on the floor.
Right.
Rich got no love at all because he was like in the back. And I would hide a camera behind. I have a little tiny camera I'll put on a mic stand. I'll put it behind Rich sometimes. And there's some great shots of the crown of Rich's head. But like looking out over the stage, it's an amazing crown, dude. When you see it.
Perhaps you know me from television.
Yeah, that's him right there. But it's great because you see all that movement, and he's always animated, and it really translates. I couldn't even do that because I think you were like against the curtain. I think you were like,
I was as far back as I could go.
I couldn't put anything behind Rich, so we had to just work within the constraints of the room. So it came out cool. The audio I was really happy with. I mean, because when you do something like that, there's so much cleaning to do because you've got all these live mics on a live stage, and somebody's yanking out a guitar chord, someone's tuning an acoustic guitar, we're telling jokes behind Micky, all that has to be cut out and removed, and I did some of that, and Amin went back in and did some of that, and so what we got now is a nice, clean, beautiful live sound. It was really cool. Very happy.
Not to mention, the weirdo monkey fans that like think they're still in the '60s and they're yelling and screaming. And,
What weird monkey fans you see?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know you. Yeah,
fans in the world.
The ones that still show up with the red button and wearing the Mike winter cap. Yeah, those. Yeah,
There's we have a Michael Nesmith guy that comes out, and he'll dress like Nez, and you'll look at I can't see well at my advanced years, so I just see kind of a blur way out there, but I go, that's Michael freaking Nesmith's ghost sitting in the audience. It's this guy. He comes out and he dresses the suit, the beanie, a little cockeyed.
Midwest, he comes out and sees us. Yeah.
Come on. I mean, you guys can't say it, but I mean, I go to these shows. I'm like, and I want to punch those people.
No, those people are. Come on, dude. They're having fun.
Oh, that's a bit much. If I go, it's like going to see McCartney or Ringo, and there's people in their Sergeant Pepper outfits. Like, come on, just take it easy.
Fun.
Take it easy.
Tony, don't let the fun die. Do you run into Rocky Horror Movie, the midnight showings, and yell at everybody? You guys suck. All of you.
You dress like Tim Curry.
I don't even like curry.
All right, I'm going. Next time I go to a Micky show, I'm dressing up as Billings. That's what I'm doing.
I wish you would.
There you go.
I wish you would. We'll bring you up on stage, bro. It'd be great.
Oh my god! Yeah, well, nice. Yeah, nice job on the live album. It's. I thought it sounded great. I loved it. It really was like. I don't think you cut anything. I think it's like a full show, pretty much.
There was some slight editing on the. Once we got everything mixed, just for time, because if you got a CD, you've got 80 minutes is it.
Right.
So I had to go in there with a knife and cut it down to literally like I can't remember what it is. I think it's something like 76 or 77 minutes. I had to chop it down to that because it was a good hour and a half show,
right?
At least,
but
almost 2 hours with the intermission.
But I'm sure, right? Exactly. You have that time of intermission to cut out. Yeah, you have. Maybe some dialogue or something you cut out, but I'm pretty sure, as far as the set list, I'm pretty sure it was the whole.
A couple of stories went away.
Right.
A couple of songs will segue into the other song, and like I said, it had to because it'd be a double CD set or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
So we did do some editing, but I feel like, if I could speak for myself, I feel like that the editing made sense and. You don't miss anything, and I talked to Micky. I'm like, these folks are coming to the show. They're going to see they're going to hear a lot of these stories anyway. So we picked the stories that were his favorites, and those are the ones that we stuck with. So there's a little cutty, choppy.
It felt to me like I was there, and I love live albums. Like I don't like live albums that are edited down. Like I prefer an album of the whole show. So I felt like I was there. So
Well, I mean, the drum solo had to go. That was like 20 minutes or something. And it's in and of itself.
Well, sometimes you got to cut out the best parts.
Hey,
give away the show.
Speaking of great drumming, tell me about the Zambonis.
Oh, the Zambonis. Incidentally, we're going to be playing a celebration of life today. Somebody on their deathbed's like, get the Zambonis. So the Zamboni, this is funny because this ties into the WFAN conversation we had.
Well, true, yeah.
John joined us. So this guy, Dave Schneider, one of my dear friends, has had this hockey band since the 1990s. And it's all songs about ice hockey. And
so it's a 5-minute show?
It's a what?
It's a 5-minute show?
No, they have so many songs in their catalog. They've been around for over 30 years. They had a hit with this song called "The Hockey Monkey," which ended up being a theme song for some TV show on Disney or Nickelodeon or something like that. And then they've had minor hits here and there, but it's all songs about ice hockey. And Dave had been asking me to join, and I was too busy. And then the pandemic hit, and he just pounced. And he said, there's nothing else going on. Join the Zambonis. And I did. And I have the time of my life doing it. I don't I know nothing about ice hockey other than Wayne Gretzky and the movie Slapshot, which is why I co-wrote the Gretzky Twist, which is one of our songs.
Oh, wow.
But it's fun. It's just a fun time, and we dress up in hockey gear and we play, and it's fun. It's a good time.
They tell you to pick up the sticks. They're not talking about hockey sticks.
Exactly.
See that?
Right.
That's why I'm in a comedy club. You see what I did there?
Hey, yes, that's great.
Man, comedy is ugly. Comedy is ugly, man. Woo.
And so what, you guys just play out, or you play it at hockey games? Like, how does it work?
So in their heyday, I think they played the Stanley Cup one time.
Wow.
They played all these different arenas and stuff. They toured with the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, cool.
And all this other stuff. So now it's calmed down a little bit, but we'll play hockey games. Like there's some school that just opened up, some college just opened up a hockey arena a couple years ago. We played the grand opening.
Yeah.
Celebrations of life like today, and then we'll play hockey themed events, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we met that night at Westbury, Don, I'm showing the picture now. Don, who was with me, he used to work for the Carolina Hurricanes. So when you mentioned the Zambonis, he lit up. He's I know the Zambonis, and he was all impressed. Forget Micky Dolenz, he knew the Zambonis.
There you go.
Yeah. That's so. Yeah, so that's So you mentioned their heyday, but they're still kind of they have some kind of following. So that's keeping you kind of busy.
Following, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially among hockey people.
Yeah, right.
What's funny is when we're out playing, there's always some 20 or 30-something-year-old kid who comes up and goes, "Can you guys play Hockey Monkey? I loved that song when I was a kid." So, yeah.
See, and now, with Hockey Monkey, you guys should get Micky to sing that song then.
Nah.
Monkey, the whole...
But the Zambonis are opening up for us in
that's right.
Connecticut show in the fall.
Oh, no kidding.
And Micky Dolenz.
Nice. Wow, you're going to be working hard that night, huh?
Yes, I am.
You're going to need
totally double dipping, man. That's not fair.
He gets extra chocolate chip cookies for that gig.
I know.
Absolutely. Right. Now, Rich, you also I guess I'll ask both of you, but I know Rich in particular. You guys, you have originals too. Like I know you have several albums out of your own.
You could say that, yeah. I mean, I dabble in songwriting. That's like my hobby. But yeah, I mean, I don't ever, go out and say, "Hey, I'm Rich Dart, buy my records," and all that stuff. But
you can today.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'm Rich
that's
Dart.
right.
Go out and buy my recordings. It's available on all streaming platforms and in garbage bins everywhere.
Is it? And it's just your name. It's not other bands. It's Rich Dart. And I think you have a few albums where you're kind of collaborating with somebody, right?
Yeah, so there's another group I have called Cream Corn, which is a band I've had with guys I grew up with since the 90s. And it's our way of hanging out. Like when other guys go, "Hey, let's go down to the bar," we say, "Let's book a gig." And we just get together and play. But we've written originals and, wrote songs. And in 2020, we were going to do this project. We were going to write and record a song every month. And obviously that didn't work out so well. So it ended up being the year later. So we put out an album called Year of the Corn, which is all that. And then in the past, we had CDs that we sold at our, gigs and stuff. So there's that. There's stuff that's under my name that's out there.
Right.
In the 90s, I was part of a band called the Maggies, which were kind of big in the Northeast region.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of rings a bell. Maybe like a minor hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we had a college radio hit called Dog.
Okay.
Back in 1993. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I was in my early 20s back then. So yeah, that's kind of like, it's definitely ringing a bell back there somewhere.
Yeah. We were big in like the Northampton area. We did play some shows down in the city too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. And then did I read something about, I'm a big blues guy. Did you play with Jimmy Vaughn or do something with Jimmy Vaughn?
I didn't play with Jimmy Vaughn. I played with Greg Piccolo, who played with Jimmy Vaughn for years.
Okay.
He was one of the founders of Roomful of Blues.
Right.
Duke Rutherford. And in the 90s, he was my first touring gig. I toured with Greg Piccolo for a long time.
Oh, very nice.
When you were talking about your van, it reminded me of that. Because he had a van, and I don't remember what make it was, but he retired it at 538,000 miles.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. I would have loved to have done that. Yeah, I love my custom van back in the day. Everybody else thought I was a creep, but I was having fun.
Yeah,
but
he had a bed in the back too.
I did. Yeah, I had a bed in the back. I had a TV. Yeah, I was. It was all sex back then, man. I was by myself, but
Greg Piccolo van, but you know.
Now, and what about you, John? I looked around a little bit. Original music? I didn't find anything. Is
stuff that I produced that I was a part of that doesn't have my name really attached to it in the band. But I did a record called Suitcase Pimps, a record called Love Is Grand. So Suitcase Pimps is a good one to listen to if you like. Or if you're more on the harder side of things. My life partner Brad Henderson and I did a record called Load Sock. I'll just let that sit there for a minute. So there's a Load Sock record. I have a bin of them in the garage. So if anybody wants a Load Sock record, you are welcome to have one. I'll even sign it. Rich will even sign it.
That's right. And I'm not even on it.
He's not even on it.
It is my sock, though.
He has this. He'll sell you the sock. I'll get you the CD.
And it's my load.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, had to do it. Sorry.
With Rich, it's great because they got those wolves they brought back from extinction. With Rich, you could bring some stuff back, man. You could be little Riches running around all over the place.
I'm showing a picture right now of John. I don't know what year this is, but you've got some long hair going, and you got a bass in your hands.
Sounds about right.
Right.
Sounds about right.
And you, how long were you with Donna Summer?
Like 16 years.
Wow.
She passed the last year that she was here on this planet. She didn't really gig. She was fighting cancer.
Right.
So up until the end, our last gig together was in Beijing, China, at the Forbidden City. In the Forbidden City.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I bet.
But that was it. It was the last time I ever talked to her, saw her. We didn't even know, the band didn't know she was sick. One guy knew in the band, it was a good friend of hers, but they kept it really tight. And
wow.
So anyway, till the end, last gig was in Beijing with her.
What'd you think of that documentary? Did you see it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. There was some.
It's hard. There's some hard stuff in there. There's stuff that I didn't know, like from I went to the Broadway show, and there's stuff about her life I had no idea about.
Okay.
That came. I won't bust anybody's. No one's seen it or knows that much about her. I won't. But anyway, there's some stuff that happened in her life that I was completely unaware of, and then I found out about at the Broadway show, and I was like, "Is this?" And I was with her niece that night, and I'm like, "Is this real, or is this like some Broadway? We're gonna add this." And she's like, "No, this is all real."
Wow.
So, yeah, I like the documentary, and I was really, I've got this. John Hughes came out with this, formerly of Rhino, who's working on Micky's TikTok and socials now. And John was talking to me about Donna a lot, and I was telling him how frustrating it was. And when she passed, she just kind of went away. There was no biopic and no new release of material on her material or reissues, and it just went away. And how frustrating that was to me. It really, really frustrating. So when Brooklyn came along, that's her middle child. When Brooklyn came along and did that doc, I was really happy. Really happy.
I just thought there was a lot of home footage, and there's like, I don't know, to me it was like,
cool.
It was cool, but I almost felt, I did get uncomfortable a couple times. Like I felt like this was almost too personal, like a little too inside. Like there was clips of her making out with her husband, and you see their tongues flying. I was like, I loved Donna Summer, and I thought she was gorgeous, but at the same time, I'm like, I thought, well, maybe I should leave the room. They're making out. Like
it's a little bit like the Queen of England. Like, everything you see of the Queen, and but then if you see like these like at home stuff of the Queen, and she's out in her boots in the mud driving her Land Cruiser or whatever, it's like, well, this is weird. But
all the people she made out with, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There goes my British citizenship. Anyway, for me to see Donna in those home clips was really cool. Like I knew Donna, and I saw her horsing around a little bit, but I never like hung out at the house at holidays. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So to see those clips for me was really cool. It was important for me to see it, and I'm glad that the fans certainly never got to see that side of her because she was very guarded about her privacy.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I felt like, in my my humble opinion, I felt like it humanized her more. It made her.
Okay.
You just got to see Donna hanging out at home with the kids, and
Sure.
that was really cool. That was really cool. I'm glad that footage got out.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you guys think of like you talk about biopics, like the Dylan one that just came out, and the Queen one? I get mad because the Dylan one. Did you guys see the Dylan one, or did you see Dylan and Queen? Did you see those two?
I
Oh,
saw
okay.
them both, yeah.
All right. Well, in the Dylan one, there's a scene where he has almost like an argument with Joan Baez on stage. They're kind of fighting over what song to play, and the audience is getting involved. And then but then I find out that never happened. And then even the Queen movie, like they made some of the plot was, will Freddie be healthy because he's got this disease that we don't really know much about? Will he be able to play Live Aid? Will he, be okay? But that's, that didn't happen either. He wasn't even diagnosed till after Live Aid. That shit drives me nuts. Do you guys care about that, or am I just a freak?
Rich.
Well, I get freaked out by biopics in general because of that. And it's cool to watch biopics about people who weren't around and you couldn't see or watch. But when you watch biopics about people you can easily go on YouTube and watch clips of.
Yeah, sure.
To me, it just sounds like they're just recreate. So the one I always reference is Man on the Moon, because I'm a huge Andy Kaufman fan.
Oh, nice.
And it was an okay movie, but it was really just Jim Carrey doing Andy Kaufman's bits.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, just go and watch the original bits. The Queen movie I didn't like because it was just too rushed, too much, and like you said, creating events that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I liked the Dylan movie, but again, it's Hollywood. They have to put their spin on everything. So, and it's always based on a true story. It's
right. Right. But,
yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly it. But I'll watch, when it comes to people like Dylan and Queen, I just think there's enough to work with. You don't have to make things up.
Right.
So it did. It bothered me.
They compressed a lot of things too.
Yes.
They didn't call him Judas at Newport. They called him Judas at another show right after that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I know it's nitpicking a little bit, but stuff like that it makes me nuts. All right. So we have only about 5 minutes left. So tell me quick with you guys who. All right. So tell me who your favorite bands and then also. What would your dream gig or dream band, who would it consist of? What would you be playing?
Wow.
And you go first.
No. This is like when we go to the restaurant. I always go, you go first so I can figure out what I want to eat.
That's what I just did.
And then Rich goes, you go, John. And I'm like, the hamburger, whatever. Never mind.
Now you're making me hungry.
Well, Rich knows, because I always talk about it. I want what I want. And what is a reality are two different things.
Okay.
And that's how it works with me. Because sometimes you meet people and they're not who you think they are in
Sure.
a good or a bad way. Sometimes you're heroes. Sometimes meeting your heroes can get tricky.
Yep.
And it doesn't, and that chemistry might not even be there. So I've always, ever since I saw 9 Inch Nails in 2008, with my, nope, Rich is here, so be cool. Josh Freese. When I saw him with Josh Freese, I was like, man crushing hard on Josh, and it was Halloween night in Nashville. I had never seen him before live, and it's some people I saw him the first time I saw so and so, insert band.
Yeah.
That was my first time I saw moment, and I always wanted to play live with those guys. I'm 58 years of age. I'm grayish. It ain't gonna happen. and I'd have to dye my hair black. My wife says I smile too much. No smiling on the Nine Inch Nails stage.
Right.
I feel like I could do one gig and then I get fired, and maybe that's all it'll be. So there you go. I do one gig, and you have to. I think Adrian Ballou talked about he was going to go out with him for a minute, and then he pulled out, and he said Trent sent me 3 hours of music to learn, not to perform, but to learn in case I want to pull this out. And I don't see myself sitting there learning 3 hours of music to just maybe play. But that's like the 16-year-old in me is like Nine Inch Nails, out front, sweating, just covered in mud. That's me. But I'm sure ibuprofen and I'd just be hurting at the end of the night, and I wouldn't look cool. I'd look like the old grandpa sitting in with the band. So anyway, there's my story. Rich, you're up. I made my order. Fries.
Good answer.
Mine's pretty easy. I have my dream gig. So as a kid, I was a huge Monkees fanatic.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't the guy you got mad at and wanted to beat up. I didn't get dressed up.
Lucky for you.
Yeah, I was a huge Monkees fan. And up until I met Andrew Sandoval, who was our producer for a while, I knew more about the Monkees than anybody else I knew.
Wow.
And Andrew's the only other one that knows more than I do in my book. So when I got this gig, I was like, this is it. And as far as who I want to play with, I'm happy just playing.
Nice. Good answer. I like it.
I mean,
I'm going to change my order, ma'am. Miss. I want what he's having.
Doesn't mean I didn't get a little like, one of my heroes just passed, so that means that drum chair is open. I would really love that gig, but not to be disrespectful to anybody, I'm not going to name names, but I'm just happy to play with anybody that calls me. As long as I'm playing, I'm cool with it.
All right, Monkey fan. Let's geek out a little bit then. I thought Justice was a great album. A lot of Monkey fans don't like it. I loved it.
We're talking about my boss.
Okay.
Okay, here's my take on Just Us, all right?
I have here our NDA that we signed just in front of me, just so I could reference.
It was great that they went back and they worked on that album as the group with no outside help that we know of. And the version of You and I on that album is so well done.
Peter Tork's bass line is amazing on that.
Yes, the production, the performance, that is the highlight of that album for me. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
All right, we'll take that. All right, so so you probably, when you joined Micky, and John, we've talked about it before, you were not totally familiar with Monkey's catalog when you joined his band. So when he's doing things like playing the whole Headquarters album live, like, so I guess Rich,
had to go to school.
Yeah, you had to go to school. Rich, you were probably like, yeah, I would love to play some of these songs that we never played before.
It was just like, okay, and it was it. He was on. Like, I know the whole thing. Rich actually sings along, and sometimes people you forget words, you just get I've seen Micky turn around and watch Rich sing to help him like bring back some of these old lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's very true. So that Rich literally knows all the lyrics to all the songs. It's pretty cool. He does the set lists. He puts the waters out.
Yeah, I wish.
All right, tell me that, Rich. Is there a song in Micky's, whether it's Monkees or even post Monkees, is there a song that you guys haven't done that you're just itching, like you're poking Micky? Mr. Dolenz, can we play this one?
There's a song he did as a solo artist in the 70s called Stranded in the Dungeon.
Oh, sure.
Which is great, which we'll never do, but I like that one. And, it'd be cool to recreate Shorty Blackwell, but that's never going to happen either.
Oh,
but
Someone.
Oh, Someone is a great one. Here's my funny story about Oh, Someone. So if you really listen to that, the tambourine is nowhere near where it should be. It's like way off beat.
Oh.
I never noticed it. And I was dating a girl in my 20s and I'm playing this and I'm like, you got to hear this. This is such a great tune. And she goes, I can't. The tambourine is off beat. And I never noticed it. And now I can't listen to it.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Someone's a great tune. Yeah.
Yeah, really a great tune. All right, it is time for us to go real quick. There were some comments that were coming in.
I didn't touch her.
Well, it's
the sheep is a liar.
She's a liar. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because Amy Holtzman says, "So happy you love them."
Amy, that's who made the cookies.
Oh, really?
Sorry,
that's
go ahead,
cool.
go ahead. But she's Cookie Lady. Yeah.
Well, that's what she said. So glad you love them. Yeah, I wasn't sure what she was talking about, but Bill Sink CINQUE. These Cinque. My apologies, Mr. Cinque. These gents are brilliant. I want to be John Billings when I grow up, he says.
Oh my God! So I want to be him. He was Neil Diamond's bass player.
Oh,
After
wow.
retirement. Yeah. Talk about some stories, man.
And then Marianne McVicker, she wants to hear.
Britches.
What's that?
I call her Britches. She always comes with like plaid pants or something.
Yeah.
She's always got the best pants.
Oh, very nice. Well, she wants to hear Zor and Zam live, which I think I think the Monkees have done that live. I would swear I've seen them do that.
87.
87? Yeah, okay. 87 was the best because they Weird Al was their opening act.
Yep.
Talk about a great concert, and that just makes sense to me. Weird Al and the Monkees, like I love that. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen. I thought that was fantastic. Okay, guys, I wish we had more time. I don't know if you do, but I do. I could. There's so much more. I barely touched anything that I wanted to even discuss with you guys, but this was great. I thank you for for your generosity at the show back in December, and then agreeing to come on today. I know you guys are busy, and let me ask you that before we go. Is there anything else going on? I know you got some Micky dates, but again, I know you have lives outside of that. So, is there anything you want to push? Anything you want to promote?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I play all the time. I play every week, so it's like
stream his music. Stream Rich Dart
my
music.
music. Yes,
it puts Jason through college. All right,
yes,
there you
put my
go.
son through college. And you know what's really cool to do is you put your phone on. If you're not listening to music while you work out, you put your phone on and then you just put it down and walk away and just stream my music that way. That's the best way to do it.
Or you could listen to it too. There's that
Or
option.
you could listen to it, but if you want to put, hi, Amy.
Amy's going to work out, y'all. Totally. That's my wife, y'all.
Hi, Amy.
Rich and Tony.
Well,
There's Tony.
Well, hang on. I want to.
Oh shit!
I want to congrats Amy for winning the best ACDBE retail operator in airports in North America.
North America.
I have no idea what I just said, but congratulations on that.
She won. She's the boss.
Man that plays in airports.
She's like a small business operator.
Oh, very nice.
Compete, I guess. Live next to multi-billion-dollar run.
Billion
with a B stores all surrounding us. So
wow,
it's quite a trip.
Yeah, I would say
you.
so. Yeah, congratulations. Wow. Fancy stuff.
I'm going to drive her there
Thank
now.
you.
I'm going to take her. She's doing, we call it the car rider line, where I just dump her off and I take her to her rivals and dump her off. Go, I'll see you later.
So that's what you're doing in between Micky gigs, huh?
Exactly, man. We're working this. We've had a changeover of employees. So in that interim, we've been working a store. I worked in there yesterday. Amy's in there most every day, and my kid's working tonight. My 21-year-old Ash is working. Hopefully working tonight, or I'll be
If
working.
not, she gets fired. Just telling you.
That's exactly right.
No special treatment.
No special treatment. No
Good.
nepotism here.
Right.
I tried to hire Rich. He wouldn't get his ass down here.
It's
It's a hell of a commute.
Yeah.
a hell of a commute, man. Fire up the private jet. I'll be working no.
Yes.
Well, Amy, it's a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much. You too.
I'm going to take her to the airport right now.
All right, is there anything you want?
Hey, come to our store. Come to our store.
There you go.
We have
Promote
a store in the Nashville International Airport. So if you are flying, you could change your routing. Hello, and come to Nashville Jam Session. It's on the secure side of TSA Pre. So if you go through TSA Pre, we're right there. You can't miss us. We had, oh my God, I forgot his name. Ian, I forgot Ian's last name. We had the bass player from Priest there.
Oh.
A couple days ago, and the guitar player from Judas Priest was there. Andy sent me he took a photo with him and said, "Hey, look, I got Ian with me." So we get people all the time. We had Craig Gass in yesterday.
Nice.
Craig Gass was actually putting drop T-shirts back up on the rack. So I had Craig. Craig was working for us.
Very
Ipso
nice.
facto. So anyway, come to our store.
Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, I could have gone longer with you, and maybe we can do this again sometime. This was great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be on time next time.
Yeah. EST means Eastern Standard.
Yes, whatever.
Not estimated.
Not estimated.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate your time.
All right,
Bye.
thanks.
See
Tony.
you again.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye, Rich.
All right.
Bye, Tony.
Bye, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. It is time for us to get out of here. 1 o'clock, Peter Schwartz.